U.S. President Donald Trump's radical government downsizing effort hit the Internal Revenue Service on Thursday. A source tells Reuters an IRS executive told employees that about 6,000 of them would lose their jobs, in a move that would eliminate about 6% of the agency's workforce in the middle of the critical tax filing season. The layoffs are expected to total 6,700 and largely target workers at the agency hired as part of an expansion under Democratic President Joe Biden, who had sought to boost enforcement efforts on wealthy taxpayers. Trump's Republicans say the expansion would lead to more harassment of ordinary American taxpayers. The workers being cut are in their probationary period and have fewer protections than career employees. The dismissals target workers across all 50 states and include revenue agents, customer service workers, and IT workers, according to sources. The move to slash the government workforce is being led by tech billionaire Elon Musk, Trump's biggest campaign donor. Musk's Department of Government Efficiency team has also canceled contracts worth about $8.5 billion, involving foreign aid, diversity training, and other initiatives opposed by Trump.
Hamas freed 6 hostages from Gaza on Saturday in exchange for hundreds of Palestinian prisoners and detainees. Tal Shoham and Avera Mengistu were released first in southern Gaza's Rafah, followed by Aliyah Cohen, Omer Shem Tov and Omer Venkert, all seized from the site of the Nova Music Festival in Hamas's October 7, 2023 attack on southern Israel. They were handed over to the Red Cross in Nusayrat to be transported to Israeli forces. Dozens of militants stood guard in a crowd that had gathered to watch the handover as armed and masked Hamas men stood either side of the 3 captives. Hamas later handed over a 6th hostage in Gaza City, Hisham al-Sayed, with no public ceremony. Al-Sayed and Mengistu have been held by Hamas since they entered Gaza of their own accord around a decade ago. Shoham was abducted from Kibbutz Be'eri along with his wife and 2 children, who were freed in a brief truce in November 2023. The 6 are the last living hostages from a group of 33 due to be freed in the first stage of the ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas that took effect on January 19th. Hundreds of Israelis gathered in what has become known as Hostages Square in Tel Aviv. Some lit candles under photos of the Bibas family, whose bodies were returned this week. Directed hostage releases have included public ceremonies in which captives are taken on stage and some made to speak. They have faced criticism, with the United Nations denouncing what it calls the parading of hostages. Hamas rejected the criticism Saturday, describing the ceremonies as a solemn show of Palestinian unity. In return for the hostages, Israel is expected to release over 600 Palestinian prisoners and detainees held in its jails. They will include 445 Gazans rounded up by Israeli forces during the war, as well as dozens of convicts serving lengthy or life terms. Around 60 more Israeli captives, less than half of whom are believed to be alive, remain in Gaza.
It's horrible. It's the first time in 11 years that I'm here. It's scary to look at all this. I don't believe that it will all be restored. It's easier just to take it all down and rebuild anew. But there is hope that we won't be left alone, that we will be helped. There are a lot of residents, and now all of them do not have a place to live. Some now have children or grandchildren. Everyone wants to come back, so we take photos and film videos, even of these ruins. People cry, but they want to take a look at what is going on here.
I don't think there will be a peace agreement. How can they agree? What can they agree on? There is so much destruction. I don't know who will fix it, who will take it on themselves.
Billionaire Elon Musk, tasked by President Donald Trump to shrink the size of the U.S. government, said Saturday that all federal workers will have to report their activities or risk being fired. In a post on X, Musk said federal employees, quote, will shortly receive an email requesting to understand what they got done last week. Failure to respond will be taken as a resignation. It is unclear what legal basis Musk has to terminate federal workers if they fail to respond to his request. His threat was made just hours after Trump posted on his own Truth Social site that Musk, as head of the Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, should be aggressive in downsizing the federal workforce. Meanwhile, the U.S. Food and Drug Administration is asking some of its recently fired scientists if they will come back to their jobs, including some employees reviewing Musk's brain implant company, Neuralink. That's according to multiple sources familiar with the matter. At least 11 employees working at the FDA's Center for Devices and Radiological Health, which oversees medical device reviews, have received calls since Friday saying they could return to work on Monday, according to FDA sources. The FDA had initially rejected Neuralink's request to start clinical trials, citing safety risks, Reuters reported in 2023. The agency has since given the startup approval to do clinical trials, which are ongoing. The FDA plans to rehire around 300 people in total, according to sources. Reuters could not verify the figure. The FDA did not immediately respond to a comment request. The White House declined to comment and referred questions to the Federal Health Department, which did not respond.
Researchers at the University of Hong Kong have built a drone that can easily navigate uncharted territory using AI. It can zip through the air at speeds of over 44 miles per hour, mapping its route as it flies.
This work is trying to solve a very basic but very important problem: how to enable the drone to fly safe at high speed.
The core of SuperMav's technology lies in its lightweight three-dimensional sensor. Using a pulsed laser light, it measures distances to detect cluttered areas from a significant distance. Professor Zhang Fu says the technology enables drones to fly safely at high speeds.
It can detect the obstacles about 70 meters away. So that eventually enables the drone to fly at a very high speed while still able to detect the obstacle and avoid the obstacle far before it really collides with this obstacle.
The sensor's data is processed by AI, which plots a safe and efficient flight path, according to research recently published in the journal Science Robotics. The AI then generates two pathways, one that stays within the known areas and another that includes both known and unknown areas to maximize speed. The result of this is a 35-fold reduction in navigational errors and a 50% cut in flight planning time compared to traditional methods. Ren Yunfan, a PhD student, says the drone could be crucial for disaster relief and rescue operations.
In real-world tests, Super navigates through different types of environments, such as wild forests, human-made buildings, and indoors and outdoors. Super consistently perform good in all these scenarios.